It wasn't by design that I became a boxing coach, and it sure wasn't by destiny. It was simply by chance. The year was 1975 when it all began. I was just 12 years old when I was first introduced to boxing. But not as a fighter, you see. My grandfather was a street fighter back in South America. Georgetown, Guyana, to be exact. He loved fighting. And I spent many hours watching boxing with him on an old black and white TV in the 70s. He would tell me stories of his fighting days as we watched the boxing. He seemed to know a lot about fighting, but to me, it was just fun hanging with my grandpa. As years went by, life changed in many ways. We watched boxing less, but the impressions were made. It wasn't until my late 20s, early 30s, that I got back into boxing. Not to be a pro boxer and/or champion. For some reason, I had a desire to learn the sport of boxing. So, how did I actually end up being a boxing coach? Like I said, by chance. But if you must press, it started with the usual simple questions in the gym. How do I do this? How do I do that? What should I do when this occurs? You know, those types of questions, which evolved over the months and years. It wasn't too long before I was actually training or advising several boxers and regular blokes. I came to terms very quickly with the fact that what I knew of boxing was not enough to teach others. I had to learn more of boxing from the other side and perspective. I had to learn how to teach boxing for actual competition. From that day on, I treated every gym as my own personal laboratory, every boxer as an experiment, and most of the time, unbeknownst to them. During my studies, it was made very clear to me that strength and conditioning played a vital role in combat sports. So I decided that a great deal of my training will involve hardcore strength and conditioning training. Within a short period of time, word spread and more came. To me, more materials to experiment upon, unbeknownst to them. As time moved on, I was consuming all that I could at a rapid pace. One of the head coaches at the gym I was training at had a fighter named George, who needed training for his first upcoming amateur bout. And he asked me if I would train and work with George. Quite obviously, I said yes without thinking about it. There was no hesitation. This was going to be my first coming out party, the next step in my evolutionary process. George and I worked on a few things in preparation for our first fight, and before we knew it, it was fight day. Unfortunately, George and I lost the fight, but we gained valuable experience. And with that valuable experience secured within me, I became the Incidental boxing coach.